Did you see the
I know it has a little
pimple?
It's like a wart.
No wart. No beauty
It's
mark.
like a little, yeah. It's a little hole.
All right, guys, let's get started. So, how's it going? How are we doing? We're going to go through each point and just kind of see where we're at with things. Everyone's getting in body scans. You guys are doing great at that. Good job for coming in for check-ins and letting us look at your scans. That's awesome. How's your protein intake going? Everyone remember their 0.7 grams per pound of body weight goal? How are we doing on that? Are we still maintaining that? Are we slipping? Slipping a little bit? Okay. Okay. So do you know what you need to do to bring it back? Okay. Yeah. Do you know what you need to do to set up to eat more protein? Is there like certain things you need to buy again at the store that you weren't before, or cooking routines that we need to get back in?
Yeah, I probably need to plan a little bit better.
Okay.
My day.
Okay.
Because I can't. If I cook for a week, it's just me.
Yeah.
So, by the end of the week, it's
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good. Anybody else with their protein starting to slide off? No? Still good? Still going strong?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm forced, do I do the vegetables or protein?
Protein first.
Sometimes I'm kind of
yeah. So always do protein first. One thing Karen and I were just talking about is like varying your protein source. So if you're eating chicken all the time, chicken's going to start to be like, I don't want that, right? Okay. Yeah, I gotcha. There you go. Yeah. And hunger is something that is affected by a lot of variables, including your protein intake, your fat intake, but also your hormones. Sleep. Yeah. Sleep actually usually will make you more hungry, not less hungry. Yeah. Or lack of sleep. Yeah, but protein also, and if you're not used to eating high amounts of protein and fat, that will also give you feelings of less hunger than you're used to, because it is very filling and it does last in the digestive tract much longer than our processed foods that just right through us. But keep at it. Protein first. Yeah, protein's the priority. That's why we addressed it first in your on-ramp. Mm-hmm. Good. And usually you can choke down a few like broccolis or cauliflowers after some protein, right? Cool. And then also making it taste good. Try different seasonings. You know, it's funny how we can be hungry for things that taste great when we're not hungry, you know? So make your protein taste great. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So that's our protein intake. How was our number of workouts? How many did we get last week? 6. Good. 3, 5, 3, 5, 5, 4, 6, 5. Awesome. So I want to remind you that part of the Quick Cut protocol that has been tested, that has worked time and time again, is 5 to 6 workouts a week. So if you're in the 3 category, we need to ramp that up. That is not what we tested that got those amazing results. It isn't. We didn't test working out 3 days a week and doing this protocol and getting the results that we got. We got the results that we got because people were working out 5 to 6 days a week and following the food protocol. Make sense? Okay, so some of us need to ramp that back up. How's sleep going? Anyone get over 8 hours every single night? Jen!
I slept for 7.5 hours straight, did not have to get up and pee. I can't tell you the last time I did that.
Wow.
I felt like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then I went back and slept for another hour. Like I peed and then I went back to sleep.
Gotcha. Wow, that's amazing.
That was exciting.
Good. That's very exciting. That's exciting for everybody. They're excited for you. Okay, so who is still getting under 8 hours every day? Okay.
Like if I'm looking at my tracker, right, I'm doing anywhere between 7.5 to almost 8.
Okay. Over 8. Okay. Good. So, do you have in place the things that need to be in place for you to potentially get 8 hours? Right? Like you're getting in bed and being in bed for over 8 hours. Yes. Okay. So we're just dealing with hormones and bladders and dogs and cats. Okay. So if those things are continually getting in your way, you got to keep working at it. Figure out another solution for the cat, for the dog, for the other humans, for for your bladder. Maybe you stop drinking earlier, and I know a lot of you are working on your hormones and figuring all that out. But keep working at it. Good. Awesome. Okay. Lovely timing. How many times did you guys go off plan? One time. Good. Good. Happy birthday. Good. I'm glad you went off plan. Just one time, huh? Good. Okay. Awesome. Anyone like way more than one time and you're like, no? Okay. Just checking. Good. And then how are we doing on our fruit and vegetable intake? This one's really easy to start sliding on. So anyone sliding, like you can tell you're not eating as much? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we got to ramp that back up. These are those things that just easily fall out, Unfortunately, they don't just like easily happen in our lives. We don't live amongst a field of fruits and vegetables and go strolling through the garden and picking plants and we don't do that, right? So we have to go to the store. We got to buy them sometimes twice a week for fresh stuff, right? So whatever your routines are that got these in the first place, we got to get those back in. Maybe it's 2 trips to the store a week. Maybe it's ordering groceries. Maybe it's just buying more of it. Maybe you started buying less of it. Yeah? Any of that?
I think I kind of went off keeping track, and I think writing it down helps.
Okay, good.
So I noticed that this week.
Cool. So maybe go back to tracking the 800. Okay, cool. Good.
Yeah, that's the first. Keeping track of the 800. That's what always drops off.
Yep. Okay. Hopefully the first time you did 800, you're like, whoa, that's a lot. So if you're not eating, whoa, that's a lot, you're not eating enough. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, you're not doing enough if you're not having the, whoa, that's a lot reaction. Cool? Okay. All right. Any other questions before we get into people problems? Great. Let's talk. So, we have people. Who are our people? Well, I surveyed you guys in the gym this week, and the number one answer is I'm the problem. It's me, right? So the people that are the problem, number one is you, but you're here and you're doing this work. So you are on your way to being resolved as a problem. Make sense? Then we have our family, right? We've got, anyone have kids at home? Yeah, okay. Your kid isn't a problem yet. Just you wait. Yeah, you just wait. That little problem's going to grow up. So kids are probably one of the biggest struggles. Spouses are a problem for this. They like to if they have a tradition of celebrating with food, connecting with other people with food, identifying important events by eating certain foods, right? Food is connected to a lot of things, and it's not the tradition, it's not the culture, it's the person who has a connection between connecting with you and eating food, right? And so they're trying to create that connection through food with you. Let's go out for ice cream, because the last time you went out for ice cream, it was so fun, right? And you guys had such a blast. Let's go out for pizza. Let's go, right? They're trying to create that feeling. Yeah? Or the kids, they have so much joy around going out to Ben and Jerry's and picking that scoop, and right, and they want to recreate that feeling with you, right? And then there's the whole, like, I only eat chicken nuggets and quesadillas situation. Is that that's not your house, right? They eat whatever?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. Good. So we've got family. We've got spouses, kids. If you live with a parent, right? They can be that influence as well. Then we have the close friends. These are the friends you hang out with. You go hang out on boats with. You go travel with. You go to restaurants with, whatever, right? Those can also be problems because they influence you in other directions away from your goals. Yeah? Okay, and then we've got coworkers and clients. We've got coworkers bringing in donuts because it's Tuesday, and then you have clients who bring in cookies and cakes to thank you for whatever you do. Yeah? And then we have our communities. We only had one person say this. She's like, the entire Slavic community, right? I was like, okay, that's a people problem, because she does a lot of events in her community and they do pastries and coffees and it's part of their culture, right? That's going to be a much tougher one. As we pull down on this list, they get further and further out of your influence, right? So you are completely 100% under your own influence. And then these guys, you have a lot of influence over. They're really close to you, right? These ones, they're not as close as your family, but you still have some pull with them. You're close to them, right? Coworkers, clients, you have some pull depending on your relationships with them, right? And then the communities outside that circle is even harder to reach in terms of to influence, change, or bring the understanding on what you're doing. Cool? Okay, so we're going to talk about all this stuff. But next, let's look at what a problem is. Okay, so this is called people problems. We identified your people. Now we're going to identify your problems. So what is a problem? A problem is simply when you are going in one direction and someone else is going in the other direction and you collide. That is a problem. Mom, I want to go out for pizza. I'm trying not to eat bread, cheese, or sugary pasta sauce. Problem, right? I want to buy a house. My spouse wants to rent a house. Problem. I want to have kids. My spouse doesn't want to have kids. Problem. I want to do CrossFit. My friends who I work out with don't want to do CrossFit. Problem, right? It's an intention and a counter intention. That is the anatomy of a problem. So it shows in these two arrows right here. Then we can have other things that are similar to problems, like just going in two different directions. We're kind of doing the same thing, but not exactly, right? Like, I want to lose weight. He wants to lose weight. I'm going to do it with the quick cut. He's going to do it with carnivore, but we're in the same house. So we're not really like going against each other, but we're not going together. And going together would be even more powerful, and we both have more success if we went together. But we are kind of going in the same direction. So that's what these two arrows represent. Making sense? Okay. Then we have when we come together. When we come together and we work along the same purpose lines for the same goal, for the same outcomes. And that's where we really excel, all of us. So even if, let's say, you're like, I know you guys are all on the quick cut, but let's say your spouse is like, I want to go keto. I'm going to do this with keto. You guys know what keto is? Lots of fat, no carbohydrates. Cool. I'm going to do keto. And you're like, I'll just do my quick cut thing. I mean, nobody's right or wrong here. You just have different avenues. Imagine if you were both doing the same thing together. Wouldn't it be better for him if you did keto with him? You see how that might be? Same meals, less, instead of having a bowl of fruit where your grapes and your strawberries and your raspberries are so delicious looking and he's like, oh, I miss that, right? You're going to help keep him more aligned if you were doing the same thing as him, and vice versa. It's not that one is wrong and one is right. It's just they are different. And if you got aligned, it would make it easier for everybody involved. Yeah? Okay. Everyone tracking with that? Okay, so how do we get aligned? Anybody know? How do you get somebody lined up to you? Communication. Absolutely. Did you have an answer? Huh? You make them? Death threats. No. Okay, communication, education. Okay, so I was looking at this and I was like, okay, well, how do you get these groups, these types of people aligned to you? First, there's you, okay? You are the problem. Education's number one. That's what you're doing, right? You come in here, you're learning how to move, you're learning how to eat, You're learning about your habits, what to do to rewire them, education. You guys got that licked. Then there's discipline. This is a you thing, right? That's what you do on yourself to keep yourself going, keep yourself in line. And then there's medicine, right? If we need to deal with you with medicine interventions, then that's you, right? That's how we deal with you. Cool? Tracking? Yep. Always starts with education. Then we've got our family. Other than death threats, right? Education. Whether they are small or tall, either way, education. Teaching them what you know. Yeah? Friends, same thing. It's the same solution. Education. Okay? Coworkers, same thing. What else are you going to do? You could quit your job. If you're the boss, you could fire them. Right? But then you'll just have other ones. Right? You'll just have other coworkers. And then community, again, education. Boycott, I wrote this because imagine this. Imagine everyone in the world, everybody, let's say in America, was like, we're not eating refined sugar anymore. What would happen? All the refined sugar companies would just go out of business. It would just disappear because there's no money, right? So, I mean, we like cake on our birthdays, so that we don't actually want that to happen. I don't. But if we did boycott things like Takis, we never ate Takis. Do you guys know what Takis are? Good for you. I learned from my children. It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. They're just these weird cone-shaped snacks, and I don't even know what they're made of. It's really weird, and they're just full of this powdery, like, flavoring thing. Kids love them. But, like, what if we just never ate those things again? They would just go away. They would disappear, and we would all be better for it. Okay? Yeah, it's Takis are like Doritos with more powder. Okay. You know nothing about that. So, okay.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at friends or family and you list education, are you stating that we should talk to them about what we're doing and how it affects your body and your health and everything else?
Sometimes. We're going to talk about that right now. You ready? Yeah, because educating our communities, that's a lot of work. Educating our friends is a lot of work, and sometimes it's not accepted, right? So let's talk about how. So education. Number one, you need to know you. You've got to know you. You've got to know your purpose. You've got to know your why. You've got to know your body, and you need to know with certainty because there is so much conflicting information out there. There's so much craziness in terms of this is right and this is wrong and this is good for me and this is good for you and da-da-da-da-da. You need to know you. You need to know with certainty what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body. Start there, okay? Then you need to know your subject. So you know what works for you, you know what doesn't work for you. Do you know why? Do you know what you did all across your life to make that happen for you? You've got your muscle mass going up, you got your fat mass going down. Do you know why? Have you written down all the reasons why that's happening? I'm getting more sleep. I'm working out 5 to 6 days a week. I stopped driving through Starbucks. Instead of sitting and having lunch on the couch, I walk. Whatever it is, right? Like everyone has their list. You have changed things in your life that are creating these results. You need to know what those things are, and you need to know with certainty. So that when someone comes in and is like, well, the reason you're having success is because you wake up and bat your eyes 5 times and then stare at the sun and then look at the ground, and you're like, is it? And then it creates uncertainty for you, right? So you need to know you, number one, before you start talking to anyone else about them. Then your subject, and then find common ground. What is the same about you and them, whoever you're talking to, your spouse, your kid, your coworker, your client? What is the same? You guys are all human beings. There is so much in common, so much, right? Your cravings, what you love to eat. I'm giving you my tactics that I used on you. What is the same, right? I would sit down with patients and they would say, I love chocolate. And I'm like, me too. Right? Instantly, that's the same. How did you overcome your chocolate? That's where you start. You start with what is the same? Because a lot of us think we're different. A lot of us think we're special. We think that our bodies just don't work the same as everybody else's. So helping them see that you went through the same stuff, you still struggle with the same things, can help them begin the conversation with you. Okay? I mean, one of the things that shock people when we talk is when I just don't like exercising. And I'm like, me neither. And they go, what? I'm like, I don't enjoy it. It is just another thing I have to do every day. I will not do it by myself. It takes 3 coaches that I train to get me to do it, right? It's not my thing, right? And people go, what do you mean it's not your thing? Like, it's not my thing. I don't like it. But I figured out how to do it. You can figure out how to do it, right? So start with the common ground. They are not different than you. Their bodies are not different. Make sense? Biologically, we are the same. Good. Then, once you've got that, you can relate what you know to what they know. One of the biggest misses I see when people start talking about nutrition, and people always talking about nutrition. I was having lunch the other day, and there's a table over there, and they're talking about nutrition. And I'm over, at my family's house, and everyone's talking about nutrition all the time. If you guys notice that, all the time. So relate what you know to what they know. Ask them what they already know, right? Get them to tell you what they know instead of just layering in all this information that you've been learning. And I read this book and I heard this podcast and my coach says, and they hear that stuff all the time, right? It's just, you're just layering it in on top of all the other information that they have that is very confusing. So start with, what do you know works for you? And they go, oh, well, when I was walking every day, I was doing really good. Dude, that's awesome. I started adding a little bit of speed to my walking, and it really helped me lose some weight. Great. You've just given them an idea that relates to what they already know works for them. See what I mean? So start there. I'll tell you, with kids, what do your kids know? How do they feel? This is where I start. How do you feel after you eat 2 pieces of cake? Ask them after they eat the cake, not while they're eating the cake. Hey, how you feeling? Oh, not so good. My stomach hurts. Okay, I just want to remind you, you had 2 pieces of cake. Help them see what they did and how they feel. They know how they feel. So bring it back to their knowingness, not yours, right? If you sit down and you're like, well, that's because your blood sugar went like this and went like that, and now you're in a state of discomfort because blah, 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 like, whatever. And be like, whatever, Mom, go away. Right? I tried. It didn't work. But related to what they know, what are they feeling? What are they experiencing? And that's how you'll be able to bridge. That's why I put a bridge there. You'll bridge that communication is that same understanding, what you guys both have in common. Does that make sense? And it's not going to be this, you're sitting at dinner and you're going to give a lecture. It's not going to be like that. But if they find they can talk to you about what you're doing and what they're doing, and there's relationship there between the 2 things, you then will be the person they come to. And they'll be like, man, you've been doing so good, and I can see that you're stable, and how are you doing it? Then it'll open up the door to more conversation and more education. Make sense? Okay. Any questions on this? No? Okay. Now let's talk about real life, right? Because that's all theoretical. Let's talk about real life strategies, like going into holiday parties, going into family events, going out to eat with coworkers, things like that, yeah? So number 1, in your own household, do your own shopping. Pick your own groceries. Don't leave it up to someone else, okay? If someone else is doing your shopping, send them with a list. This is what I need, okay? This is what I need for my food, for my outcomes, right? So take control of what's being brought into your house. Cool? Pack your own lunch. When you're going to work, don't rely on the potluck. Don't rely on the whatever. Just pack your lunch, okay? Don't rely on I'll figure it out when I get there. I'll just grab something really quick, okay? Unless you're right next door to like a supermarket and you can go over and get a salad or, but be prepared with your lunch. Cool? Eat before you go. So this is like, you're going to a cookie exchange. That's a very dangerous place to go, must say. You better be full before you arrive. You know what I mean? Eat a steak and potatoes and a salad and you arrive full. You're going to eat some cookies, let's be real. This is going to be your 20%. okay? But if you are full and satiated on good foods, you will eat much less. And then don't bring the cookies home. You know how you do the whole like, let's swap and I'll take home my little plate of poison and you take home yours, right? Like just don't. Just don't, you know? This is an opportunity too, if you guys have gotten good at some of your recipes that we've talked about, to introduce them to on-plan cookies and treats, right? I've made some freaking delicious lemon bars on plan. They're so good. I mean, nobody would know that you did it on plan with no added sugar. So it's possible. You just need to get good at it. You got to learn how to do that. So eat before you go is a good one. Even if it's like, I don't know, not a cookie exchange, but something less dramatic like a picnic or a potluck dinner or something, have some protein before you leave. Have a protein shake before you leave, right? I know it sounds kind of silly, but it will keep you from making other choices that maybe you don't want to make, okay? The next one is track your macros that day and then enjoy. Track your macros up until the event, knowing you're going to make room for the extra carbohydrates and the extra fats and the extra proteins you're going to consume, and just enjoy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, minimize the calories you're taking in at breakfast and lunch. Just reduce them down a little bit because you know you're going to have a big meal. Okay, and then don't worry about it, right? That's why we go 100% most of the time, is so that when you have these other things come up, you can afford it. It doesn't make a negative impact on your health because you've got your habits in place. You know what you're doing. You know why you're doing it. You can go and enjoy a potluck with your friends or a dinner out, and the next day you're right back on track because you know that's part of the plan. Does that make sense? So it's okay to go out and enjoy these things, and you know, it's your birthday, have some cake, you know, those sort of things are okay. That's why we call it on plan and off plan. We plan for you to go off plan sometimes. Make sense? Okay. What are your ideas? Anyone else have a strategy?
Take a substitute this week. Like, I knew we were having a birthday lunch at work this week, and I brought my own, a birthday treat. I brought my own, I just took my yogurt. So I had something to eat at the same time that didn't have.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. That's great. That's absolutely great. Another trick at like potlucks is, what I like to do is load my plate with vegetables. Salad, if they have steamed vegetables, like just load it with vegetables. Just cover it. And then meat, right? Eat that. You want seconds? Great. Go get more vegetables and meat. Just ignore the rest. Okay? See if you can make yourself full on vegetables and meat. Yeah.
Is there a time, I may have missed, is there a time limit to where you shouldn't eat after a specific time, like dinner? Like 6 o'clock, is that it? Or you shouldn't eat any more for the rest of the evening? Or does that really affect your metabolism and burning the fat that you eat?
No, it doesn't directly affect it. So there's a lot of factors in here, right? Like, how much did you eat all day? If you haven't eaten and it's 6 o'clock, you better freaking eat, right? If you've been eating all day, you've had all your calories, you should probably cut off your food, right? You've eaten your meals, you've eaten what your body needs, you should probably stop eating. The reason that rule exists is because that's when people get tired, and that's when our hunger levels come up. And so if you put a hard cap on your eating, and you go, I don't eat past 6, I don't eat past 7, it will help with the overeating situations that we run into. Yeah. So it's more habitual and less of mechanical. Does that make sense? Okay. Good question. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right. So we have 2 minutes. I want you to turn to the person next to you. One of you is the problem. You're going to practice saying with confidence something like this. Okay? One of you is the problem. I'll tell you how to be a problem. You're like, leave a little. Just have one glass. Just have a little bit of cake. Come on, it's your birthday. It's your cousin's birthday, right? Okay, you're the problem. Those of you who are trying to stay on course, I want you to say something like, no thanks, I don't eat that. No thanks, that upsets my stomach. No thanks, that makes me sick. Okay? Whatever is going to be enough for them, for your problem, to shut up. Ready? Go. All right, guys, swap. Swap places. Thumbs up when you've both gone both ways. Thumbs up when you've both done it. When you both have done it, give me a thumbs up. You guys both did it? Yeah? Are you guys good? Did you both do it? Both ways? Awesome. Jenny and you guys both good? Okay. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I hope that was helpful. If you want to talk further about specific people that are problems, let's set up a coach check-in or a coach goal review to do that. And we can strategize about specific situations and problems you run into. Okay? All right, let's go work out. You're welcome.